the South Shore of Long Island, New York. Lakes, marshes, beach paths, a place where people came to feel free, to unwind. One strip of road, the Ocean Parkway, runs alongside the barrier island near the seaside hamlet of Gilgo Beach. In late 2010 and early 2011, the peace of that shoreline was broken. One after another, human remains began to turn up along that isolated roadside. Bodies, dismembered limbs, wrapped in trash bags, hidden in the underbrush. Investigators discovered what they called the Gilgo Four in December 2010. Four women found within a quarter mile of each other. But this wouldn't be a single event. Over the following months, more sets of remains turned up. Men, women, even a toddler. Each discovery sent a ripple through the region. How many victims? Who was behind this? And how could someone dump bodies in broad daylight and remain unseen? This is the story of a case that spanned decades, entangled sex work, online ads, forensic science, and a suspect whose seemingly normal life hid far darker secrets. The known victims ranged in age, background, and circumstances. Many were women in their 20s working part-time as escorts, often advertised via Craigslist. Some names: Melissa Barthelemy, 24, Megan Waterman, 22, Amber Lynn Costello, 27, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25, all discovered in the December 2010 cluster. In March and April 2011, additional remains appeared, including that of Valerie Mack, whose torso had been found in 2000 but only identified in 2020. These women shared certain vulnerabilities: transient jobs, limited protective network, working in isolation. To many, they were invisible. To one person, perhaps everything. Behind each name was a story interrupted. A family waiting for a call that never came. A friend wondering why she didn't return. A job undone. The victims became the catalyst for one of the largest investigations in Long Island's history. The initial discovery forced law enforcement into an enormous undertaking. The Suffolk County Police Department launched what would become a major multi-agency task force. They combed marshland, searched forests, questioned hundreds of persons of interest, and reviewed the digital traces of the victims. One key moment: the disappearance of Shannon Gilbert in May 2010. Her frantic 911 call and subsequent death triggered a larger investigation in the Oak Beach, Gilgo area. Over the years, the investigation ebbed and flowed. Victims were identified slowly, forensic technology improved, but the killer remained at large. The case became known to true crime communities as the Long Island serial killer case, the term reflecting the chilling pattern along that shoreline. For decades, the case was cold, until a major break in July 2023. Rex Heuermann, a 59-year-old Long Island architect and resident of Massapequa Park, was arrested and charged with the murders of the Barthelemy, Waterman, and Costello cases. What led to his arrest? According to prosecutors, advanced DNA testing, cell phone tower data, surveillance, and digital devices seized in his home. Inside his basement, investigators found what they called a blueprint document. Checklists titled Body Prep, Post-Event, notes about removing heads and hands, destroying evidence, having a story set. The revelations stunned the public. A man appearing to live a normal life, under the radar, now at the center of one of America's most haunting unsolved cases. Prosecutors laid out a complex web of evidence. A hair found on one victim's remains matched to Heuermann's DNA, collected via a discarded pizza crust. Files recovered from hundreds of electronic devices in his home revealed planning docs, adult porn with violent themes, and searches for victims. New forensic methods, whole genome sequencing, hair strand matching, allowed old cold case samples to link back to him. But the defense fought back, challenging the admissibility of the DNA evidence, the method of matching, and whether a unified trial was fair. In September 2025, a judge ruled that the DNA evidence would be admissible and that Heuermann would face a single trial covering the 7 victims. The trial date, expected in late 2025 or early 2026, is being billed as one of the most consequential criminal cases in New York history. The Gilgo Beach case has resonated far beyond Long Island. It highlighted the vulnerabilities of women working in the sex work economy and the challenges of investigating crimes involving marginalized individuals. It raised questions about law enforcement delays, oversight, and how bodies could remain undiscovered for so long in a populated area. Families of the victims pushed for remembrance. Along Ocean Parkway, memorial benches now bear the names of lost ones. The case is influencing forensic science law. The acceptance of new DNA methods in this trial could set precedent in New York and beyond. For viewers, the message is clear. Justice can take years. Victims deserve to be seen and remembered. Science and persistence matter. The shoreline of Gilgo Beach remains beautiful, serene, and yet overshadowed by a darkness hidden beneath the sand and trees. For years, whispers grew of a masked figure dumping bodies in the night. In 2023-2025, that figure finally had a name. But the trial is only beginning. The victims, Melissa, Megan, Amber, Maureen, Valerie, and others, still wait for full justice for their stories to be told. And so we remember them, not just as statistics, but as people whose lives were stolen. In memory, in every quiet vigil, in every bench by the sea, the echoes remain.